I left the car business. I hated selling cars. I was good at it, but I hated it. It just felt grimy. I just didn't really enjoy. Dude, like, so Jeep, Dodge, and Ram. I was with Chrysler. I was at a Chrysler dealership. So anyway, so I was selling cars, hated it, man. I love cars. So I was like, oh yeah, whatever. Had no idea of what a loan officer was. I didn't own a home or never bought a home when I became a loan officer. Didn't even know what loan brokers were. I had zero clue. And truly, growing up, I've always wanted to be a business guy. Now, my teachers growing up always said, well, what kind of business do you want to own? I never knew. I was like, I don't know. I'll figure it out, but I want to start a business. I don't see the life for myself where I'm going to put 40 years in with the company and just retire on whatever I get from them. Like, I just always wanted to be my own boss and do my own thing.
Today we have Alex Hernandez with Guild Mortgage. You're with Guild, right?
Yeah.
So Alex and I met a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to bring Alex on here because, one, you're young and you close a ton of loans, and I love talking to other young loan officers that are crushing it in our market. But two, you're an entrepreneur. You've been involved in a couple of different tech startups, mortgage tech startups, which we'll get into later. But starting off, Alex, you want to just give us, I know you're a busy man, so thank you for coming on here. But you want to just give us a basic groundwork of yourself. What's your deal? How'd you get in this industry? How long you been an LO? How old were you when you became an LO?
Yeah, guys. So I'm 30 years old right now. Still early in my career from a mortgage lending standpoint. I've been in the industry for going into my 8th year. So I was 23 when I got in, completely fell into the industry. Had no idea of what a loan officer was. I didn't own a home or never bought a home when I became a loan officer. Didn't even know what loan brokers were. I had zero clue. And truly, growing up, I've always wanted to be a business guy. Now, my teachers growing up always said, well, what kind of business do you want to own? I never knew. I was like, I don't know. I'll figure it out, but I want to start a business. I don't see the life for myself where I'm going to, put 40 years in with the company and just retire on whatever I get from them. Like, I just always wanted to be my own boss and do my own thing. So for as long as I can remember, I've been tinkering and starting and spending every dime that I have into projects that I'm passionate about. And I've always been proud of putting my money where my mouth is, Steve. Like, I'm just like, okay, I want this. I want to start something. Then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut the check for it. And I'm going to learn a ton of information. And so I've been starting businesses since high school, really. They've all never really made money. I've lost tons of money, but I've learned, this over the last decade. I mean, I've learned so much. Anyway, so I was 2016. I was selling cars. I actually was selling cars, and I was in college at the time. I started a book business, and floor to ceiling in my apartment had books. And I was sending out, people would subscribe for my online library, and I would send books all over the country. And I would send the physical copy, like an online library. They pay $15 a month for it. They send it back. I send them the next one. Well, as you guys imagine, like, people stopped returning the books. I was losing money hand over fist. I couldn't acquire customers cheap enough. And I just was like, what am I doing? And dude, I went to go sell cars because I self-funded it myself, $25,000 of my own money. And I made 60 grand that year selling cars. So, I mean, my take home income was probably only like 38 grand anyway. So I invested all of the money that I made to starting this business and failing, completely flopped, lost all that money, was in credit card debt, like 100%. Well, 2017, I left the car business. I hated selling cars. I was good at it, but I hated it. It just felt grimy. I just didn't really enjoy. Dude, like, so Jeep, Dodge, and Ram. I was with Chrysler. I was at a Chrysler dealership. So, yeah. So, anyway, so I was selling cars, hated it, man. I love cars. So I was like, oh yeah, whatever. So the way I got into the mortgage industry is because I went to a credit union. Because the car business, they were trying to get me to go up the ladder. They're like, you can come into finance, you can go become a manager. And I just knew, I looked around and I was looking at those people, fat, overweight, divorced, bad credit, at the car dealership for 80 hours a week, just not the lifestyle that I personally wanted for myself. I got out of there as quick as I could. And so completed my mission, started my business there, left, went to a credit union, and I started doing consumer loans. So this is kind of bringing the story full circle. Was doing auto loans, credit cards, home equity lines of credit, opening up new bank accounts, things like that, right? Very simple stuff, really simple, really easy job. I was making $16 an hour, made 32 grand, okay? This is important because it's going to come back. But I made 60 grand in 2016, made 32 grand in 2017. So I'm going backwards but I've always been willing to go backwards for more skills. I'm always willing to go backwards to learn more. Okay. And I was finishing my degree. Anyways, I really like doing HELOCs. I really enjoyed the home equity line of credit process. I really enjoyed debt restructuring with people. So someone would walk into my office and they'd say, "Hey, I've got $35,000 in credit card debt at 25% interest, but I've got 200 grand of equity in my house. Like, help me restructure my finances." I've always been attracted to that. So I started doing home equity loans. Quickly became the number one producer in our region. Now, this isn't impressive, but you're talking like $1 million a month of HELOC production. Not super impressive, but in the sense of like, dude, like some of the HELOCs were like 50 grand, So, I loved it, I loved it. And, I just was like, if you can just lock me in the back office and let me only do HELOCs, I'll love it. Well, the reason I became so good at doing HELOCs is because my sphere of influence were all mortgage lenders. Again, I didn't know what a mortgage lender was, but I very quickly realized, and I'll tell you the moment, Steve, you're going to laugh. But I quickly realized, I was like, well, you're doing the same thing that I'm doing. You're analyzing their debt to income ratio. You're analyzing their income. Like, I was like, that's awesome. But dude, check this out. So I got this guy who was a lender who came in and wanted a HELOC and gave me his W-2, and it was $800,000. Okay. And my mind, bro, was blown. I just was like, wait, you do what? And I just was like, holy crap, like that's the path for me, because I always want to start my own business. And so I'm like, I can operate as my own person. Yes, I'm a W-2 employee with Guild right now, but like my own schedule, my own time, like I always been drawn to, I get to reap what I put in. And like, I've always told myself when I first started doing loans, I was always like, no one knows that I'm working this hard right now. No one knows, but no one will know until a couple of years. Time always tells the truth, right? And so that is what always was the monkey on my back of like, dude, like, well, first off, I saw $800,000 and I was like, I'm all in. And 60 days later, I'm a licensed loan officer. No shit. Like 60 days later, I was ready to rock and roll. I started January 21st of 2018 was my first day as a loan officer. And I had no agent relationships. My only sphere of influence, like I'm not a professional. I'm not in the industry yet. I'm a college student. And I got my wife who was quitting her job because she just got into a dental program, which was full time. It was a 2-year program. So I'm like, okay, so I'm going into a full commission job. All the bills are on me. Let's freaking go, bro. So 2018, I did $1.2 million of loans my first year. I made $24,000, Steve. And I was actually in the hole technically because that was the draw that I had to pay back. So I technically didn't even make that much, right? But anyways, it's played out. It's played out pretty good, I'd say.
How'd you get going there? What would your referrals start to come from? They started to come from other lenders or realtors or?
No, yeah, I made a massive mistake my first year, and that was a big reason why I only did $1.2 million in loans. I try to go direct to consumer. I said, screw real estate agents. Don't need them. I'm going to go direct to the client because at this point, keep in mind, I have a background in doing Facebook ads. I have a background in doing these quiz funnels online and generating leads online. Like I've already had the background in it. And then I said, okay, there's an opportunity here. All my competition are like 40 and 50 years old, and these guys don't even know how to do this stuff. So I was like, let me start creating Facebook ads. Let me go crazy on content. So I started filming all this content. Wasted my time, to be honest. And I had this one moment I want to share. I got a lead, and now keep in mind, I didn't have an autoresponder. I didn't have a CRM. I would generate leads through a quiz funnel on Facebook, and I would manually follow up with people. I had a spreadsheet that I had a 7-day follow-up process I did manually. Okay. I didn't even know. Okay. I just was figuring it out. Okay. So I had a moment where I converted this guy and I was like, holy shit, I got one. Like I got one. This guy actually wants to talk to me. He actually let me pull his credit. I was like, holy shit. Like anyways. So I tried to get him with the real estate agent that I was kind of working with. And I was like, hey man, I can get you some leads and cool. And the agents are just like, oh yeah, sure. Steve, you want to give me your leads? Sure. I'll take your leads. Right. Anyway, so the client goes, no, I'm going to use someone from church. I'm going to go with this guy. And, I said, okay, cool. Goes quiet. Crickets. Well, as we knew, and what I quickly found out was that the agent sent it to their lender, right? And now I'm competing against a different lender that the agent wants the client to go with. And the agent, dude, was like, no, I want you to use my guy. I don't want you to use Alex. I don't know who that guy is. Like, dude, hilarious. And that was the first moment where I was like, I got this all backwards. I need to go build relationships with agents because I can be a rock star at generating leads, but my pull-through rate will never be that high if I can't control who that customer goes with, because that agent is always going to refer them to their person. And so that first year, I went direct to consumer, Facebook ads, wasted all this money. I went 10K in the hole trying to work with these other agents. Like, it was a disaster. And honestly, I'm really thankful that I didn't get canned, to be honest. Like luckily enough, like I figured it out. And I'm lucky that the people that I was working with wasn't like, yeah, dude, Alex, you don't know what you're doing. You're out of here. Like I really am. And so year 2 came around, my whole mind shift changed, and I went really heavy after agents and builders. Really heavy. Now, my builder business later on took off. I do really well with my builders now. And it's funny because I do really well with my builders using all the techniques that I had running Facebook ads and all these other things. Like, so it's funny because you could be really good at something, but if you don't know how to apply that skill correctly or in the right time, it may not give you the fruits that you think it should, right? And so like I had to learn all this stuff, man, but I started hammering agents and my production started going up. I did 7.5 million my second year in the business, which I was like rich. I was rich, bro. I was like, hell yeah, dude, I'm back, man. Like I made more money than I made at the car dealership, right? So like keep this in mind. 2016, 60,000, 2017, 32,000, 2017, 25,000, and I owed 14 grand on my draw. So technically it was like 10,000. Okay. And then 2018, bro, I'm 70 G's, baby. I'm rich, man. I'm like, we're going, right? And so every year after that, it was 45 million, 46 million last year. Yeah. And it's not even, and honestly, yeah, in 2024. Yeah. And this year we should do 50, 55 million this year. We're tracking. But and I've had an $85 million year, and so like, it's funny because 40 million, I've had to learn and be okay, like not beat myself up of being like, oh yeah, you suck, Alex. Like you got to get back to 80 million. But here's what maturing in the business comes. I don't know if I want to do 80 million, brother. I don't know if I want to do 100 million. Like that used to be my North Star. I was like, I want to be $100 million per year producer. I'm going to do $1 million a year in production or in income. And I've learned that I actually don't think I want to do that.
Let's get to that in a minute. That's a whole,
okay.
I would love to talk about that. But I'm so glad you gave that story about how you screwed around with the direct consumer leads, with Facebook ads, with CRMs, with bullshit. And just because you're good at it, I was good at it. I love doing it. I'm like, this is cool. When I ran my first Facebook ad, I'm like, this is so cool. And I wasted 2 years. I'm like, how am I gonna get enough leads and get them to go into my CRM and then have a VA call them and then you get AI agents to call them or text them. But guys, like if you're unsure, let's just say it. If you're a loan officer and you're not sure, like if you should do leads or direct consumer, hear it from us. You're gonna go broke and you're gonna close no loans from it. Guys, there's no secret sauce. If you could just swipe your credit card and get leads that actually closed, Rocket Mortgage would pay $10 billion and get all the leads and close them themselves. Like, it's not going to work, guys. I had some guy DMing me right before the call on Facebook. It's like, what do you think about Realtor.com leads? I just gave him the puke emoji. And then I sent him the run emoji. I'm like, dude, there's no secret sauce here. You're just going to have to become a person that realtors want to refer.
Absolutely. It's the quickest and clearest path to the production that you guys that most people want to make. And what's cool about our industry, and this happens in a lot of industries, but we see the top producers. We see the $100 million producers, and we get this idea of like, well, that's what success is. And that is not true. What success is individually personalized. And what success is what you're comfortable with making, and also the type of lifestyle that you want to have. Now, I grind all the time, dude. I work a lot, but that's the lifestyle that I've signed up for, and I like it. I like what I do. But I've also come to terms with it. I'm like, I don't, my sense of satisfaction and my validation doesn't come necessarily from my production, but it really comes down to what do I want to earn? And what am I using my money for? And what is my goals long term? And so, like, it's funny because we get all these LOs that are stuck that never actually break through that barrier, and they're stuck at that 1 to 4 million a year, and they're like scraping by. Our industry is too good for too many people to fail. Like, it is so good, especially if you can start making the money that you can truly make. 10 to 20 million dollars a year, you're making 100 to 200 grand a year or more, right? If you're profitable and you're not spending all this money on leads and all this other crap, right? That's a fantastic living for 99% of people. Specifically when you say that I didn't go get a degree to be a loan officer, bro. Like, I'm just some guy that got licensed and just am somehow good at this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
You
just
said something
funny.
really important. Our client acquisition, guys, if you do this right, our client acquisition is like no other business. Our client acquisition is free. It doesn't cost anything to be friends with realtors unless you go down that pay to play route. But like, what other business can you go in and you just get free leads? Your leads are $0.
Yeah, with rate update, I don't get free leads. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, man, I wish I did. And then also you talk about margin. You're like, man, you make X, like if you can take home 200 grand a year. Now, keep in mind, most business owners only make what, 5 to 10% profit on their business. Most, some maybe good businesses, 20 to 30%. So that means you have to make, so I can go do 20 million a year in loan production and make more money than a business that makes $1 million a year in gross profit and gross revenue. Right? Because then you're like, they're only going to probably take home 100, and so we think like, oh, I go make $1 million in my business, I'm rich. Well, yeah, well, then you got all your expenses and stuff. I'm like, cool, you made 100 grand. Well, I make more than that just doing what I do, right? And so like that's definitely changed my mind on a lot of this stuff. And going back to the whole lead thing, it's like you're dead right, and I think there's a place for all of it. Like here's the thing, guys. I generate leads on Facebook still. I run webinars on Facebook still. I run ads to targeted agents in my market still as a lookalike audience. I as a retargeting campaign. You know what that does for me, Steve? Is it amplifies my referral business. It doesn't replace my referral business, but it amplifies. 3 times this week, I've gotten referrals from agents. The clients already knew who I was. I've never talked to this client. And you know what the clients say? Hey, I actually see your videos on my Facebook page all the time and Instagram. Like, talk about my affinity in their eyes. Do you think they're going to shop me? They don't. Because they say, okay, my agent referred me to you. I already trust my agent. Kudos. And I've seen your face all over the internet, and I see the value that you're putting in the internet, even though they've never liked my post. They've never reached out to me directly. Now let's take that back. Let's say I was only doing DDC and I was running Facebook ads. That's not a deal that I would have gotten, even though they acknowledged that they've seen my post. The only reason I got the deal is because the agent referred them to me. But I closed the deal because the clients trusted me because of the videos and the Facebook ads and all that stuff I do on social. So it all works
I'm
together.
so glad you said that. No one really says that. I don't hear any other. I don't really hear a lot of older loan officers saying that because they probably don't quite quantify how it works nowadays. But all my Instagram followers, all my Facebook followers, they're seeing my stories. 730 people are seeing it 4 times a day. What other opportunity can you do that in? What other platform can you be in front of someone 7 times a day and be in front of 2,000 people? You can't. There's nothing else you can do it.
No. And dude, I'll tell you something too, is when that first year, I was doing the whole Gary V. I loved Gary V at the time. And I was like, I'm going to post 3 times a day on Instagram and Facebook and make all these videos. I spent so much time. I only ever closed 1 loan because of Instagram. 1 loan. 1 loan, bro. I swear to God. And if you go to my Instagram page now, my lender page, like this is my actual page, I haven't posted in like I think I posted once in 2 years. Because it doesn't move the needle for my business. I figured that out early. And it's funny, like I will go if an agent wants to do videos, like I work with these builders now and they want to go film content together, I'll go do that. But do you think I'm going and taking my lunch break and doing TikTok dances for loans? Hell no, I'm not doing TikTok dances for loans, bro. I'm not doing it. But it's funny because I see these loan officers doing it and I'm just like, it's a trap. It's a productivity trap. Like I get the purpose, but At the end of the day, if you took someone, I did 0 loans. I have 0 loans in my pipeline right now, and I want to go and get business tomorrow. I'm not creating an Instagram post. I'm not creating an Instagram ad. I'm calling agents, and I'm leaning on my sphere, and I'm gonna go get a deal that way, right? Quickly.
So if you call agents, what do you say? How do you act? I mean the script, but like what is the vibe you go for when you call agents? Because I haven't called an agent in years. They call me, and if they don't know who I am, I don't want to talk to them. What is your relationship with newer agents that you're calling?
So before you and I just got on this call today, I was talking to an agent who was kind of a forced relationship because the customer I was working with was another agent of mine, and then that customer left that agent and went with this was the listing agent who she was. We just closed this loan last Wednesday. Loves me. Was like, holy smokes, Alex, your process, you communicated really well. Like, I really want to work with you. We should go grab lunch, right? We haven't grabbed lunch yet. We closed last week. And she just sent me a client just now. So now to answer your question is a lot of my outreach when it comes to agents now are not necessarily cold outreach. These are warm outreach. These are people that I'm actively working with and I'm trying to wow them of me. I want to be the real deal, man. I want to be the real McCoy. And no cold calling, no promising, none of this stuff. Agents don't care about it, man. They're tone deaf to it. You know what they really want? They want to know, hey, can you help me make money, Steve? Yes or no? And that's how I talk to them. I'm like, hey, Steve, how much business did you do last year? Oh, I did 22 transactions. Wow, dude, that's awesome. How do you get the bulk of your business? Oh, I do it this way. Oh, that's really cool. Okay. Well, if I can help you convert 2 or 3 more of those deals every year, would you consider using me as a loan officer? I mean, I don't have to be your number one. You don't have to even commit to me. You don't have to marry me, but let me show you what I can do. And like, I always, when I first started doing loans, I was so scared to be assertive. I was so nervous, like, oh my God, I'm going to be so salesy. It's just like the car dealership days all over again. But that's cost me so much opportunity. Now I'm just direct. Now I'm respectful and I'm direct. I'm like, hey, Steve, I love to work with you. You're someone that was referred to me. And like, I'm always looking for connection. I'm always looking saying, hey, Steve, I work with this guy who spoke really highly of you. I had to reach out to you because I hear you do an amazing job. I'd want to see, I mean, how did you build your business? What are you doing? Like, I want to get to know you, right? And then I look for ways to interject myself into your current sales process. So if I say, how do you get your business now? Well, I get my business this way. I get my business that way. Well, how are you staying top of mind with your clients that you've done in the past? Rate update. You know what I'm saying? Like there's things that I'm doing now. I'm just being way more assertive. And truly, a lot of the business agents that I'm working with, if I'm not already working with them, I'm working with them indirectly during transactions. Yeah. And then I'm building those relationships.
They're the seller's agent.
Yeah.
And they accept the offer because they know that you're the dude on the buyer's side.
I got a deal yesterday. And again, here's the thing, guys. I build software. Rate Update is a software product that I have. We'll talk about it. But like, this is what I tell people with Rate Update. I'm building software from the trenches, just like you are. And I'm closing deals. And I had a client yesterday who was shopping me versus Veterans United, was referred to me by an agent. And, you know, like if you don't know how to sell and navigate these sales processes and ask the right questions and having rebuttals built in, and it was funny because he was non-committal to me. And I said, look, and I gave him the whole spiel about being local. I said, look, you can take advantage of the reputation that I built. I've been in this community for 8 years, and I built a reputation off of hard work. And it is more likely than not the agent that's going to accept your offer knows who I am. So let me ask you a question, Steve. If you got a pre-approval letter from Veterans United, from some LO that's not in this market, that you're not going to run into at the store, or you get a pre-approval letter from me who you know and have history with, which offer are you going to take, assuming they're equal? You're going to take the guy that's local, right? And he was like, yeah, I get that. But I'm not going to go with you if I'm the one paying more interest. I'm right. I said, no, of course. I said, Steve, listen, I would never expect you to pay more money to work with me. But with that being said, if my deal and Veterans United is the exact same, would you go with me? Pause. And he goes, yes, I would. Okay, great. Send me the quote that they sent you. And he sent me the quote. And I beat it. Right? And so like, that's the whole thing. It's like, you know what most LOs would do in that situation? They'd clamor up and be like, oh, well, you know, I'd really love to earn your business, sir. And it's like, dude, clients don't respect that shit, man. They don't respect it. They want to be told, and they want to know that, okay, I'm buying a 3 or 4 or $500,000 home. This is a very stressful time for me and my family as a customer. Who am I going to allow to help me navigate this process? The guy that is being really reluctant to have a conversation with me, or the guy that's going to be assertive, that's going to ask the right questions? Like, I'm always asking people, like, well, why do you say that? Like, why do you think that? Here's another thing. And I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but I'm excited. But I always get people that are like, okay, I think rates are going to go down. I want you to give me the highest rate you can, no points. Okay, well, why do you think rates are going to go down? Oh, I just think they're going to go down. Okay, well, I agree with you, Steve. I do think rates are going to go down, but like, if you took 7% today and you planning on a refinance in the future, well, how do you know, and at what point would trigger to you that the refi time is ready? Like what rate, or, oh, I don't know. I didn't think about that. So I'm like, oh, okay, so you want to take a higher rate today, and you don't really even have an idea of what rates would have to be at to want to refinance? And they're always like, well, no, I didn't really think about that. I said, okay, cool. No, not a problem. But I said, here's what my thought process is. If you take 7% today, we need to set parameters around this. We tend to want at least a 1% reduction in rate, or we need to be able to drop your mortgage insurance, or both, right? Because it's not fair to you, Mr. Client. Now, listen, I get paid again. So like, I love getting paid, but listen, like, I'm not going to refinance you if it's not going to benefit you and your situation. Fair enough? And they're always like, yeah, of course, fair enough. Okay, so we need to have a 1% reduction in rate and drop your mortgage insurance, where you're putting down 3%. Like, do you think in the next 2 or 3 years, you're going to make up 17, 18% in value, because a lot of the payments you're going to make are going to interest? Oh, I don't know. I didn't think about that. Okay. Well, do you think rates are going to go to high fives? You know what I mean? It's like, I have these conversations with people, and I said, okay, so we built the parameter, Steve. How much do you think it's going to cost you to refinance? Oh, I didn't think about that either. Right? So like, of course they didn't think about it, Steve. Of course they didn't, because they're not professionals. They don't know. They hear what they're told, man. They're hearing from their friend that rates are going to go down, so don't buy down interest rates today. But then I say, but hey, Steve, okay, so you're reluctant to buy because you need your payment to be under X. If I can get your payment to X, would you buy today? Yes. Beautiful. Well, to get to payment to X, I need to get you a 5.75% interest rate. Would you buy today if I got you a 5.75% interest rate? Yes, I would. Fantastic. We can do that as long as you get $15,000 seller pay closing costs, and we're going to buy the interest rate down to 5.75. They go, oh, I didn't know you can do that. Do you think they're shopping me now, Steve?
Well, the only time that doesn't work is when a lender doesn't explain anything to them and then throw 4 points on there. And then I'll get their LE, and then I'll say the exact opposite. But Alex didn't spend 25 minutes explaining it. And it just goes to show there's always something to explain to them. We've been doing this for 8 years. We started pretty much 8 years ago. There is so much garbage that we have learned in 8 years. There's always another avenue that you can explain to someone, not to mislead them or misguide them. But I mean, you're providing value to them. You're educating them on something that they didn't know about. And if you just take 25 minutes to explain it, they're going to go probably. Now, the other thing you said is being curious about realtors. Loan officers, I don't know why no one taught me this. You're the only other guy that's ever said this. Mr. Realtor, where does your business come from? That's the most important question a loan officer should be asking a realtor. Where does your business come from? Most of them are going to say, I'll tell you right now, they're going to say, oh, I don't know, my phone rings. My phone just rings. Really? You don't know where any of your business comes from? Your phone just rings. Well, that person that just called you, where did it come from? And you got to coach them through this. But yeah, people just aren't curious. They're not. It's like, how do you guide a conversation with a significant other, with a girl you meet at the bar? You act curious and you talk to them, and you're like, what do you do? Where did this come from? Why do you do
get them to
this?
talk more than you talk? And that's the other thing, is in sales, like, we don't want to be the one talking and driving the conversation. It's like, we want to be asking questions, like you said, and it makes them feel important. But also, that whole conversation we just went over, those are real conversations that I've had this week. Exactly. This week, I've had these conversations. Now, how much confidence would an agent have in working with me? Now, keep in mind, and I always teach this to loan officers. I'm like, okay, you want an agent who makes 100% of their income in their household to feed their family, feed their kids, which is 100% reliant on you getting the deals done. So if they close 2 deals this month and one is with you and one was cash and you can't perform, they just lost 50% of their paycheck that month. Dramatic. I get it's dramatic, but guess what? I have those conversations with agents and I said, Steve, would you really feel comfortable with the loan officer who doesn't understand that and doesn't take it as serious as you take it? Now, they always like, no, I mean, I need to make sure that my team cares about me getting deals done just as much as I care. Exactly. Well, how much confidence did I just give you when I said, hey, Steve, this client was giving you reluctance because a different lender told them the payment was going to be $2,900. And I just got off the phone with them and devised a plan and got their payment to $2,500. And here's the type of offer that we need to back into to do this. And now they want to move forward. So not only did I just help you get more money in your business, we just took a deal that another lender couldn't do. And so now I say, great. Why would you send that other loan officer any of your business? Like, do you really want to risk your business? They always say no. They go, no, of course not. That is how you start getting deals. And we're in the sale, like we're salesmen. Like we are, like we're selling ourselves, we're selling product, we're selling the American dream of owning real estate and owning a home. We're selling this. Now, would I want to work with you, Steve, if I called you and said, Steve, I'm really excited to buy a house. I'm a first-time home buyer. And you go, interest rates are 7.5%, buddy. You're screwed. Of course not. I don't want to work with you. So I would love to talk to Steve, and this is your interview, but I want to talk about how many loan officers are making the grave mistake of not being conscious of what they're saying to their real estate partners. If you call me today and you're an agent, Alex, what's up, bro? How's the market? I say, dude, it's fantastic. Dude, I just locked in a client today, 5.625 VA. Well, we got a $10,000 seller paid closing costs. We did this, we did that, right? I'm not saying, oh, bro, rates suck, clients suck, life sucks, production sucks. Bro, of course no one wants to work with you.
And I think this is why these loan officers who we were talking about 30 minutes ago don't have any loans, is because that's their energy. Their energy is, we're cooked, dude. Rates are 7%. They've been 7% for 3 years. And they don't even need to talk. You can look at them and see they're hunched over like this, and they've thrown town. It's like, dude, you need to wake up and you need to get excited about this, or you're not gonna last. It's like, what, you think it's gonna just magically get better in 6 months? Rates are gonna go to 4%? Really? You think it's gonna get better?
It's an energy game, man. It really is an energy game. And here's the thing, man. It's clients are funny too, and I hear this from loan officers and even agents. And agents are like, "Of course this happened to me." And I'm like, "You're not special, brother. Bad stuff happens to everybody. Bad shit happens to everybody. It's all good. Just keep on. Can you control it, or yes or no? Yes, I can control it. Then great. Then control it and change it. Next time, guess what? We're good, dude. I mess up deals all the time too. I do, and I pull off a lot of deals. I'm not Superman, but I control what I can control. I navigate what I can't. I manage what I can't. I control the narrative. That's what I do on a daily basis. I control the narrative, and I'm always being positive. And that is something that agents have specifically told me, dude, I love working with you because I feel excited to go sell real estate. I want to be excited. Think about this too, Steve. I go to an office. I don't know about you. I go to an office with other people selling as well. And if you walked into the office and everyone was down, it's hard not to feel down too. But think about agents. Most agents don't have a network of people. They work from their bedroom by themselves or their office by themselves. Now, some agents go to the office and then they hobnob with other agents for half an hour. And that's it. But it's not as much as we do. Being that sense of light for them and that motivation and the excitement of the opportunity that we have dude, it goes so far. And sure, is that what's solely going to get me deals? No, but it's all these little things that we talked about today. Your energy, your salesmanship, your ability to overcome objections, your ability to know loan programs. How many LOs just want to be salespeople and not know how to actually do a loan? It's not going to work. It's not going to work because you're going to get people pissed at you because you told them the wrong thing. So if you're not using both sides of your brain to navigate and sell a deal, and then also check the damn guidelines and check their income. Like, dude, I'm checking income all day long. I'm running income calcs all day long, making sure that we can actually close the deal that I say we can close. How many LOs are scared to know, like, they don't even know how to do self-employed income calculations? And I'm like, bro, I'm going to run, dude, like, here's the thing, dude. If you guys are watching this video right now and you were going against me, I would hope that you didn't know how to do self-employed income calcs because I will run circles around you. Like, and here's the thing. This is a game of war. Like, we are in competition. This is a game every day. And I have a client who's shopping me and the guy down the street. It's the best man wins. Okay. And I don't always win. I lose sometimes. I'm like, okay, man, sucks. Time to go get another one. Right. But it makes it a whole lot easier if the guy on the other end sucks, doesn't answer his phone, isn't responsive, doesn't know how to run calculations quickly.
And it
like,
usually is. You're not usually going up against a good LO. You're usually going up against some schmuck. And
I know
if that's who we're always going up against, that's our standard. That's the industry standard.
Yeah. And you know what I always say? Like, don't suck. I've always told this to people. I'm like, don't suck. And I say this to myself because I'm like, dude, like, I'm not good at everything. And here's the thing is I use that as motivation to get better at it. The cool thing about what we're doing is it's not rocket science. We're not doing brain surgery every single day. Like, this is not life and death, right? If we lose a deal, we lose a deal and move on to the next one. It's fine. It's sales. There's always going to be another deal. Everything that we're doing can be learned. And we have the tools around us to learn it and do it and apply ourselves. If you don't know how to do something, figure it out and get better. And the more that you apply that skill, the better you get at it, So
we're getting into this. So rate update. You want to give everyone an overview of what rate update is, how you build it to. Just give us a background first too.
Yeah, rate update is a sales tool that I built out of necessity. I've always been interested in software. I've always been interested in starting businesses, like we talked about at the beginning of this. And again, I put my money where my mouth is. I said, you know what? I want to build something. Not only do I want to make more money with it, but I want to help other loan officers as well. And I want to do something that isn't in the market right now. And so, one thing that I always was frustrated with was that I had a leaky bucket. I would do a really good job. I would get a 5-star review, and I'm on the hamster wheel looking for the next deal. Well, every day I'm looking for the next deal, right? Well, what happens is when you're constantly focused on the next deal in front of you, it's easy to neglect the deals that you've already done. And so most like your database is some of your most profitable business that's untapped because they already know you, they already trust you in most cases, they already like you in most cases, and you already have a relationship. The problem is why would I reach out to you, Steve, if I just did your loan? Happy birthday, buddy. Happy loan anniversary, buddy. Like, it's awkward. So I was always frustrated that customers, and now I was at Academy Mortgage. Academy was acquired by Guild, and I came over with the acquisition. Academy would sell their loans off. And so now all my customers were getting hammered by Mr. Cooper. They're getting hammered by all these people, Freedom Mortgage, for refinances. Next thing you know, I'm losing 10, 15, 50% of my past clients because they didn't, like, number one, I didn't do a good enough job of staying top of mind because I'm busy looking for new deals, right? Trying to pre-approve new deals. And they didn't realize that I could even do their loan or refinance, man. So I was like, really? Bro, like, how crappy is it for someone to say, Steve, you're awesome. I send you to all my friends and family, but I didn't know you could refinance my loan. I'm like, are you kidding me? So anyways, that's the problem solving. Rate Update is a sales tool. It's an interest rate digest that is completely branded to the loan officer. So you control all of your branding, your logos, everything. And it's an email that goes out to your customer either weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. You control the frequency. And it is an interest rate digest that summarizes the average interest rates in the market, a 3-month trailing trend. We have AI insights summarizing the data. And the best part is it's fully branded to you. So your headshot, your contact information. And so this is a outbound sales retention tool that you can use for your past customers. You can use for your referral partners, like your agents. You can use for your leads, so people that you haven't done deals with yet. You can co-brand your digest with your referral partners as well. So you can go to an agent and be like, hey, Steve, you got a big database of clients. What are you sending to them? Oh, nothing? Well, let's incubate them. Let's make sure that they don't forget my name, right? Like I mentioned, I can live with it, Steve, if you said, Alex, you suck. I don't want to work with you. I don't want to work with you again. Lose my number. Cool. I know where I stand. Best of luck to you. But what I can't live with, and there's a lot of loan officers like this, where we're losing tens of millions of dollars in production from our past database because we didn't do a good enough job to stay in top of mind with them. So that is the problem that we're looking to solve with Rate Update.
And what does it look like? It just basically you're sending out rates every week, every month?
Yeah, so it's an email that goes out with your face on it, your contact information, your branding, and it is a top of funnel driver. So the goal is to get you to, as a customer, to say, oh, this, number one, to educate you on what's happening with the market. Now, the cool thing is everyone cares about interest rates, even if they want to refi or not, or they want to move up to another home or downsize, they care about rates. So being able to give them these interest rates and show them like, hey, here's what the national averages are and here's what the trends are. It's good content and it keeps you top of mind. So it's highly engaging. And then the best part is it comes from your name and it comes with your face on it. So you're like, oh yeah, that's Alex. I know Alex. Yeah, cool. And it's keeping you top of mind. So that's what it looks like. It's very simple, super clean, super sexy. We allow LOs to change the colors on it and the branding and the logos. Like, it's pretty personalized, so it's pretty slick from the customization standpoint. But that's all it is. We're delivering information to the client and educating them.
I mean, you have HomeBot. Everyone's got HomeBot now, and so if people don't know, they don't have a system to stay in touch with their past clients, what should they do? Just Google Rate Update?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? And I'll give you guys. I'm going to create a code. I'm going to do Steve. Okay, we'll just do Steve. If you guys use the code
Steve all caps.
Yeah, Steve all caps. It'll be right now. Our retail price is $39 a month. We'll drop $10 a month off for you for life recurring. It's $29 a month, and it's one of the most affordable sales tools. Like you mentioned HomeBot. I thought of HomeBot when I did this. I've used HomeBot for many years, but here's the big issue in the gap in the market when it comes to HomeBot is that property values are difficult, especially when you live in a non-disclosure state like Utah. So keep in mind, my customers are getting their HomeBot digest and the values are all over the place. And I've had multiple scenarios where like, dude, I just bought this house for $500,000 and your HomeBot says it's worth $390. Like, what the hell? And I'm like, bro, my bad. And so the issue is understanding property stats isn't nearly as compelling as understanding, or it's not nearly as of a predictive monitor or precursor to someone making a decision like interest rates are. So if you're opening up your HomeBot because you care about your home value, that doesn't mean you're going to come back to me for a refi. Sure, you get the benefit of my face is on there. You might remember who I am. Sure. But being able to say, I'm interested in what's happening with the market because I want to refinance or I want to purchase a new home, like that information is much more concise. And the whole purpose of Rate Update is for them to now push them over, raise your hand and say, hey, Steve, I want to talk to you about interest rates. I want to see what my interest rate is for this purchase. And I just would help you get a new bona fide client. So that's what Rate Update does.
Gotcha. We'll have a link in the description of this video below.
Steve.
All caps, Steve, Rate Update. You're developing tech. You're originating 50 million a year. How do you split all this up? Like, how are you originating this many loans in starting a tech company?
I don't know, man. I don't know. So here's the thing is like, you work out, right? So like, it's kind of like asking you as a lifter who's seasoned, how do you lift 225 pounds on the bench press, right? So how do you bench 225? If you were a first day guy showing up to the gym, you're not benching 225, bro. Like, right? At least not well, and definitely not without hurting yourself. So this is a culmination of many years of stretching myself, and my capacity to work has grown. So working 10 hours a day is normal for me. And whether that's in my mortgage business, which is constant. I mean, I guess I tell people, guys, see, I work after hours. I work the weekend. You call me, you let me know. I got a call after this interview, 6:30 right now. I'm going to take care of my kids. I'm going to show it to family, and I'm going to handle a little bit more business. I work on Saturdays. Like, there's opportunities to work that people just don't want to work. And so it's like, if you're not where you want to be in your life and you don't have the money that you want to have right now, you don't deserve or don't have the luxury to not work on Saturday or to not work on Sunday outside of religious reasons, right? It's like, there's enough time in the day. So, my normal day, man, is like, I'll wake up 6:30 in the morning. I work out. I've got a home gym. I work out at home. I'm out of the house by 8:15, 8:30, and I'm after it, man. And I get after it. I have a processor. and I just do what I can do. I'm always texting, I'm always on the phone. I mean, I don't know. I don't know other than I've just gotten to the point in my life that I'm used to the amount of hours I work. Now I do hope I don't have to. This is not hustle culture. I don't. I hope I don't have to work this much forever. I don't. I really do. I hope in the next 10 years I can be in a position I don't have to work at all, which would be amazing. But like that's what's so cool about the opportunity that we have is we don't have to be doctors or lawyers and to go $200,000 in student loan debt to make hundreds of thousands or low millions of dollars a year. Like we have that opportunity. So now I ask you, if you have that opportunity in front of you and you see the path to achieve it, what would stop you to achieve it? And then if I said, well, if working a little bit more to get to that point, would you do it? Well, yeah, I would.
Have you always been like this? Has your mindset always been like this, or did you not get
Yeah.
it when you were in car sales?
I've always been this way. I think I was born with it. I don't know if it. I would like to think it's something that I've learned over time. But I was raised by a single mom. I saw she worked every day of her life as well until I graduated high school, man. And so, it was bred into me at a young age of like this is what hard work is. We were always middle class. She was a hairstylist. She raised two kids on her own by herself, no child support. So like, is it something that I've learned growing up from a kind of what's been around me or what? I don't know, but I've always been this intense when it came around like this is what I want, this is what I want to do, and at the end of the day it's on me to get what I want, not on anyone else, so the one thing that I can control is my effort. I can control my effort. I can control how much time I put into something. You can put 100% effort in it, but if you don't allow enough time to lapse, you're not going to get the benefits. And I can control the things that I'm learning. So, like, these are things that I do in my life every day to build the business and the life that I have.
Last question. We're at an hour. Knowing what you know now, is there anything you would have done differently 8 years ago when you were a 23-year-old starting off loan officer?
I wouldn't have gone to college. I wouldn't have gone to college. I swear to you, man. I left college with 30 grand of student loan debt. And yeah, there was a lot of things. I met my wife in college, so maybe, that maybe I wouldn't have met her. I don't know. But like woulda, shoulda, coulda. But I would have got into sales earlier. And maybe that's not even doing mortgages. Like sales in general. Like I tell people, of course, this is our vehicle. Like doing mortgages is our vehicle to build wealth and to do what we do. But I would have gotten into doing sales earlier and I would have started buying real estate earlier too. I own real estate now. And, I look at prices of homes in 2014, 2015, 2017. And I promise you, if I was making the money that I'm making now in 2013, 2014, I would own 100 properties at the moment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, maybe not, but like I would have gone into real estate earlier, maybe been an agent or done mortgage. And I've definitely 100% would have gone into sales and I would have foregone college. Now, my wife went to college. She was a dental hygienist. She needed to go to college. I didn't. To do what we do, to do sales, a bachelor's in business administration and an emphasis in marketing does not serve me
Yeah, right.
in what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, anyways, and now listen, that's my opinion. Everyone's opinion is different. And some people go to college for different reasons. But I'm just saying for me, like I would have gotten to doing sales earlier. I would have hit the phones earlier. I would have honed on my skills earlier. And I would have made a lot more money earlier. But guess what? Money's not everything either. So like it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Well, that's a great way to leave it. Alex Hernandez, thank you for your time today.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Absolutely.